So you're writing a PhD thesis. It's a huge deal, right? Like a mountain of a task. But what if I told you there's a secret toolkit, a bunch of free tools that can make it all, well, a whole lot smoother? Today, we're going to break down 10 of them. We'll cover everything from planning to writing to that final polish. Ready? Let's get into it. And let's be real for a second. This quote, it hits hard because it's true. It's this massive and honestly kind of lonely challenge. So if you've ever just sat there staring at your screen, feeling totally overwhelmed, yeah, you're not alone, not even close. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And trust me, everyone who's ever finished one has felt that exact same way. But here's the good news. You really don't have to go it alone. And that's exactly why we're doing this explainer. We've got this incredible digital support system at our fingertips, right? So we're going to unpack a list of amazing resources that are designed to help you at every single step of the way. All right, first things first, laying the foundation. Before you even think about writing that first chapter, you got to build a solid base. You know, it's all about the planning, the research, and just getting a crystal clear idea of what this thing is going to look like in the end. So let's check out the tools that help you do exactly that. Okay, resource number one. And I love this analogy. Before you build a house, what do? You look at blueprints, right? You see what works. Well, guess what? The exact same logic applies to your thesis. And that's where OATD comes in. It stands for Open Access Thesis and Dissertations. And it's basically a giant global library of finished theses. Now, hold on. This isn't about copying. No way. It's about strategy. It's about seeing how other people in your exact field have structured their work, how they built their arguments, how they tackle the same kind of problems you're facing. It takes the mystery out of it, right from the get-go. All right, so now you've seen what a successful, finished thesis looks like. Cool. But how do you start building the actual framework for your own? That's where our second resource comes into play. This one's called Better Thesis. And it's fantastic because it helps you take that, that big cloud of ideas you have floating around in your head and turn it into a rock-solid logical structure. It's a practical guide that helps you outline your chapters, map out your arguments, and just make sure the whole thing actually makes sense from start to finish. It's literally the architectural plan for your entire project. Okay, so you've got the big picture, you've got the blueprint, but now you're facing the day-to-day reality of this monster project. So how on earth do you break it down into something you can actually do? Well, that's where resource number 3 comes in, the PhD Toolkit from a site called I Think Well. Honestly, think of this as your free personal project manager, because a PhD isn't just one big project, right? It's like 100 or 1,000 tiny little tasks. This toolkit gives you free templates and planning tools to map out our timeline, track your progress. It helps you tame the beast by chopping it up into bite-sized, manageable pieces. Okay, foundation, check. Now it's time to get to the main event, the heart of it all, the writing. This is where all those ideas you've been working on finally come to life on the page. And we've got a really powerful workflow for you here. So let's talk about a 3-step writing workflow that uses 3 amazing tools. Think of these as your writing trio. First up, tool number 4, a LaTeX thesis template. You can find these on platforms like Overleaf. Now, if you haven't used LaTeX, it's a game changer. It handles all that tricky academic formatting, references, figures, all of it automatically. So you can focus on the writing, not the formatting. Okay, then as you're actually writing, you'll want tool number 5, the Academic Phrasebank. This is from the University of Manchester, and it's brilliant. It gives you all these professional phrases for how to introduce a point or critique an argument or wrap up a section. It's like having a guide for sounding academic. And finally, to tie it all together, tool number 6 is the Purdue OWL, the online writing lab. This is your Bible for pretty much any question on grammar, style, citation, you name it. These 3 together, an absolute powerhouse writing system. But wait, there's more. What if you could get writing advice from, one of the top universities in the entire world for free? Well, you can. And that brings us to resource number 7, MIT OpenCourseWare. Seriously, this is incredible. MIT puts a ton of its academic writing guides, templates, and resources online for anyone to use, for free. You're getting access to materials developed at the absolute highest level of academia. It's basically like having an MIT writing coach in your corner, 24/7, without the insane tuition fee. Okay, take a deep breath. You did it. The draft is done. That is a huge, huge milestone. But you're not at the finish line just yet. Because that final polish, That's what turns a good thesis into a great one. It's all about making every single sentence sharp and making sure your work is absolutely pristine. And for this stage, we have a dynamic duo. Resource number 8 is the Hemingway Editor. I love this thing. It's like a personal style coach for your writing. It flags long, complicated sentences and helps you make your arguments more bold, clear, and direct. Then, once your writing is sharp and powerful, you move to resource number 9, a plagiarism checker, like the one from PaperPal. This is non-negotiable. It's all about academic integrity, making sure everything is original and cited correctly. So think of it this way. One tool sharpens your sword, and the other one protects your honor. So as we get close to the end, I really want to circle back to the most important message of all. You are not alone. And that, right there, is actually our 10th and final resource, your community. Seriously, places like the subreddit r/PhD or academic networks like ResearchGate, these are your people. They're a space where you can ask dumb questions, vent your frustrations, and get real advice from others who know exactly what you're going through. So what are your next steps? Look, don't just let this be another explainer you watched. Go and bookmark this list. But even more important than that, share it. Seriously, send this to your lab mates, your writing group, anyone you know who's on this journey. Because building that support system, that's probably the most powerful tool we've talked about today. Let's all try to make this whole thesis thing just a little less stressful. So there you have it. You are now armed with a powerful toolkit, 10 free resources to help you plan, write, and polish your masterpiece. These tools are here to clear away the logistical headaches so you can focus on the thing that really matters, your brilliant research and your incredible ideas. So the only question left is, what will you build with them?